I'd like you to take a moment and think about an older version of yourself, someone who you used to be in the past, perhaps who had an impulsive opinion about something, or made a controversial post on social media about something, simply someone who you used to be, who had a different worldview than you have today. And now imagine that person would follow you into every room that you would go, into every discussion, into every job interview, into every relationship. Not great, right? Well, throughout time, this has not really been a problem because forgetting has been one of the main, has been one of the preconditions to freedom. We forget in order to grow and in order to become someone new. But today, we're building technology that doesn't allow us to forget anymore. We're building technology that remembers everything about us. Of course, technology is amazing, it's extraordinary, it's making our lives so much better. We can send messages to anybody in the entire world, regardless of their location. We can search for any type of information that we need at any point in time. We can watch any funny cat movie we want to watch. We can send money without having to go to the physical bank. And we can travel a lot. The whole world has been mapped. But behind all this convenience lies a digital infrastructure that a lot of people are not familiar with. And at the core of this digital architecture lies digital memory. Digital memory is way different than human memory because digital memory is permanent and precise. Human memory, on the other hand, is selective and fragile. Regardless of whether we're using a device online or not, at all times, we are being tracked. All of our actions are being tracked. And the issue is not that there are certain data points that we give up. The issue appears when a lot of information is collected by us, because companies then have the power to profile us for their own benefit. Without explicitly giving your consent to offer certain information and data points about you, service providers, technology companies, especially big tech, can still collect that information from you with the help of pattern recognition. And they can find out information about you, such as your religion, your political affiliation, even your favorite color, why not? But the issue with this is that with time and gradually, all that information that is collected about you is used for their own benefit. If for instance, when you would normally be using a service, let's say you're doing a normal search on the internet, technology is meant to respond to that. So you do a Google search and you get the information back. But next time you're going to do the same thing, perhaps watch a specific movie, look for a specific video, technology will remember that about you, and they will start recommending some other movies, for instance, that are something they think they can predict that you would like. Human beings are very predictable, so the pattern recognition power of technology is really helping them into that direction. And at first, it's not necessarily an issue. You might say, I'm glad that there's a lot of information that's recommended to me because that's what I like. But eventually, that's an issue because you start living in an infrastructure, into an architecture that is closed, where information gets filtered in and other information gets filtered out. You stop having complete access to everything. And while, of course, you can always close the app, you can always use something else, the system is made in such a way to block you and to only and to force you to stay within certain boundaries of information. Imagine this. It's a beautiful Friday in Groningen, and you're just having a stroll across Grotemarkt when you suddenly crave cookies. Your cookies that you used to have when you were a child back in the days, chocolate cookies from a specific brand, you're craving them, so you go into the first supermarket that you see with the sole intention of buying your favorite dessert. Now, that supermarket has recently hired a team, let's call it the Cookie Task Force team, who has the only intention and only objective of collecting information about you, collecting all data points they can about you. So how long you spend in the shop, what are the aisles that you spend most of the time on, if you look for a different type of products or you specifically already know what you want to get, anything at all that they can collect on you, they'll write it down. That's their job. So that the next time you go into the same supermarket, you'll find yourself in a situation in which all the staff, all the employees present in the supermarket will be pointing you towards the cookies you bought last time. Maybe this time we want to buy some salad. Probably not, but let's say you do. Everybody, all the arrows, everything will be centered in such a way that the whole purpose of your visit will be towards buying your favorite cookies. And as a technology lawyer and researcher and part of my PhD, that's one of the main issues we have identified in modern technology, and that's manipulation. Data is continuously collected from us by these big service providers. It can happen whether we're connected to the internet, to a certain network or not. It's happening automatically and at all times. You're always being watched to a certain extent. It can be when you're using an app, when you're just searching for something, when you're watching a movie, when you're watching content on social media, even in your private messaging, that's also happening. And worst case of scenario, it's also happening when you don't know about it. And that's called invisible tracking. Invisible tracking consists of a small graphic, which is transformed in the form of a pixel, and it's inserted within web pages or in an email. Anywhere a marketing team can insert it, they will, with the sole point of collecting data points from you, so that they know, for instance, when you're checking your email, they know how many times you've opened that email. When they can know and determine how many times you clicked on a specific link, even how many times you hovered over specific keywords on a web page or over specific pictures. So when are we being tracked? Continuously. It's happening now, it's happening even with our phones closed. Check this out. Let's take the biggest social media platforms out there as an example. Facebook and Instagram can determine your sex with 90% accuracy within minutes or hours of using the platform, just by your settings, app settings, and your location. They can also determine your religion with 75% accuracy just within days or weeks of using their platform, after only giving out 70 likes. So it's enough to offer 70 likes that they'll probably get your religion right. And finally, they can also get your political views right with 85% accuracy just after 150 likes that you have given to a post. It's mind-blowing. They're using all this information and they can predict so much information about us. The problem with that is that they're doing it only for their own benefit. That's when this question might come in, which is very relevant. So what's the reason behind all this data collection? And the answer is quite simple. It's profit. It's a business at the end of the day. That's the revenue model that they're using, usually software companies. If you think about it, all the technology that we're using, or at least the mainstream big tech that we're using, is free. Google is free, Gmail is free, WhatsApp is free. They're all free to use. So how are they making their money then? And the answer is advertisers. Last time I checked in real life, whenever I was provided a service, it was never for free, in none occasion at all. So that should make us think, are we actually the customers, or is it more likely that we're the product? And in that case, we can definitely get to the conclusion that we're not clients here. Advertising companies are clients. Advertisers are paying for visibility and predictability. When they're renting an advertisement spot on the street, they don't have that, or at least not to the extent to which they have it on social media. When they have a normal advertising spot on the street, they make sure they get visibility. There's a lot of people walking by and seeing the advertisement. However, those people are not filtered. It's not a specific audience. On social media, that's not the case. Social media is championing advertising in that sense, because with all the prediction power that they have, with all the tracking that they do and all the data collection that they do, they have the ability to make sure that only the relevant and potential customers see the advertisements that are listed out there. This way, advertisers are really the ones who have something to win out of it, to make something out of it, while we remain normal products, unfortunately, and our data stays a currency that we pay. That's when the idea of Big Brother comes into discussion. Whenever we say Big Brother, I'm sure most of us think about overt surveillance, about cameras and authoritarian regimes. But at least in the Western world, Big Brother has stopped being that some time ago. Big Brother is not really coercion anymore, but personalization. He's there, he's always watching, he's always tracking, he's always analyzing. He's looking into what makes you emotional, into what attracts your attention, into what makes you buy specific products, simply to keep you within an environment that's beneficial for them. Big Brother has the sole purpose of getting richer and richer based on what you provide to him for free. I am not here to advocate against technology. Not the case at all. I think technology is one of the main pillars which are building progress in today's society. However, it's very important to take into account that there are certain alternatives that can make your life easier and definitely safer, more protected when using any type of technology. Some people might say, there's definitely skeptics out there who might say, well, I have nothing to hide, so why is my right to privacy, to data protection so important? But that's like saying, I have nothing to say, so why is my right to free speech so important? Human rights are not made for when we're comfortable. Human rights are made because we might need them at some point in the future. And the following services are some of the best options out there to have an alternative to mainstream heavy data collection services. For instance, you can use a private search engine which doesn't collect any of your history data or browser data. It simply keeps away all trackers without reminding your digital pattern at all. There's also encrypted communication services that you can use, such as Proton Mail or Signal. These services involved the latest type of encryption, end-to-end encryption, this way protecting your conversations at all times, so that not even metadata, so not even keywords from the conversation can be collected. Finally, you can use a virtual private network, so a VPN, which is very helpful. It blocks internet service providers and technology companies from viewing all your internet traffic, simply makes you a ghost in an online environment. The idea that I would like to leave you with today is that technology is great, is amazing. I'm not advocating against it, but I'm advocating in favor of understanding this digital architecture that we live in today. Forgetting has been seen for a long time as a weakness. However, from my point of view and within this context, forgetting is one of the most important preconditions to freedom. Because whenever we forget what happened in the past, who we were in the past, we're able to grow, we're able to become someone new, we're able to develop. Big Brother is not one company only or one person out there, but Big Brother is the infrastructure that we live in today. And the way this infrastructure is set up at the moment is not always in the benefit of us as average users. Technology, the issue is that, well, the moment technology stops forgetting information about us, it's the moment we lose our our access to certain rights and not necessarily the mainstream rights, such as freedom of speech or a right to movement, but we lose our right and our freedom to forget and to become perhaps an ideal that we would like to be. Thank you very much for your attention.